And I'm wearing the crazy yoga pants that I said about. So they're like, got elephants on. So they're quite nice. I bought them when I was in Indonesia. But yeah, right. And that's where I learned to do yoga, by the way. Okay, so I want to sit in on our mats, nice and comfy. Legs however you like to have them, staggered like me. Sitting up nice and tall, you can have your legs out long, you can have them crossed, it really doesn't matter. If you want them a bit looser like out here, that's absolutely fine. As long as you're sat nice and tall so your lungs are big so you can get lots of good oxygen into your body. Push your shoulders away, lift your head so you grow nice and tall. And just relax it here a little bit. Centering yourselves on your mat, taking nice deep breaths. And then we're going to get that neck mobilized. So I want us to pull the side of our head, pull it down to the side so you're really lengthening your neck, pushing the shoulder away so you get a little bit more out of it than you normally would. And then I want us to do exactly the same on the other side. So hand on the side of the head, gently pulling it down, lengthening the side of your neck and pushing the shoulder away. And release, put your chin onto your chest, still sitting up nice and tall. Bind your fingers behind your head and let the weight of your arms pull down on your neck. So you get a nice stretch along those muscles, either alongside your spine. And release your hands and let's circle the head round. We're going to go 3 times one way. And then when you get back to the beginning, I want you to stop there and do 3 times the other way. And then when you get back to the beginning, lift up your head, sitting nice and tall. So let's mobilize the rest of the body. So let's pop those legs out in front of us. Hands on your thighs, we're sliding forwards and back. As you go forwards, you're reaching as far forwards as you can, trying to get a little bit further every single time. And then when you push your elbows back, as you come back, so your chest goes forward and you're opening up your chest and shoulders as well. So we're not just mobilizing those hamstrings in the back, we're getting the chest and the shoulders as well. Pushing it back. Last time, pushing it back and release. So let's bring one foot in to the side of your thigh, pushing the knee down, reaching to wherever it is that you can reach. And we're going to go over with the arm and then all the way back up. So we're taking the head as close to your knee as you can before lifting yourself up and sitting nice and tall. And your arm travels all the way over. So it starts from the floor and it goes over in a wide arc all the way down to meet your other hand. So it's a nice big movement. Last time, sitting back up and doing exactly the same on the other side, reaching for those toes, taking the head down to your knee, hands starting at the floor, arcing over all the way to your other hand before going back up again and sitting nice and tall on the way up. So we're not compressing for too long, just for a little bit as we mobilize that spine, get that body nice and warm, get it ready for our yoga. And coming back up, and let's bring both feet together. Push those knees down, try and get them as close to the floor as you can. So opening up the hips. And we're going to roll down. So I want us to take our forehead, our chin to our chest, and then roll the forehead and try and get as close to your toes as you can before rolling back up again. Lift your head and then drop the chin to the chest. Roll forward, taking the forehead to your toes before rolling back up again. And let's keep it going nice and steady. Don't rush this one. Take it nice and slow. Let's do it one more time. Forehead down, as close to your toes, and then coming back up. Lovely. And let's take those legs nice and wide. So as wide as you can. Still sitting up nice and tall. Try not to hunch. Sit up tall and push those shoulders away. And we're going to arc those arms again, going from one side over to the other. Nice big movement with those hands and arms. One goes, the other follows. Taking the body down as well. Taking the head down to your knee on both sides. And let's go over one more time. And then sit up nice and tall. And we're going to be sliding forward this time. So hands go on the floor. Don't put your chin to your chest and roll forward. Keep your back nice as flat as you can. And just slide your hands forward and back. Forward and back. So we're trying to get a little bit further every single time. Taking that chest as low to your mat as you possibly can. And don't worry if you can't get very far. You just go as far as you can, trying to get a little bit further than you did before. And let's do it one more time. Going forward and back. Nice. And let's bring those legs together. We're going to do a nice big trunk twist. So one foot goes over the knee, and then the opposite hand to that knee goes across, and I want you twisting and looking over your back shoulder. And I want this arm to push against the knee to twist you a little bit more than you might normally. And then once you get to a point where you don't think you can go much further, just hold it there for a few seconds and then push even more. And then come back to the centre. Now let's do that on the other side. So other knee goes over, other foot goes over the other knee. Opposite arm to your knee, twisting round, looking over your back shoulder. Get to the point where you can't go anymore and just hold it there for a few seconds. Get used to it and then push again. So you get yourself a little bit further and just keep repeating that process. Hold it for a few seconds and push a bit further. Hold it for a few seconds and push a bit further. And come back to the centre. Lovely. So that whole trunk is nice and mobilised now. Let's bring those feet in, and I want you going forward onto your hands and your knees. And we're going to do our first cat to cows. So we're going to do cat first. So I want us to push our belly up, arching the back, and take your chin to your chest. So this is stretching all the muscles along your spine. And then we're going to do your cow, so it's the opposite. You're pushing your back down, get a nice curve in your back, and lift your head up. So you're really stretching your core this time. And let's go back to the cat. Arching your back, chin to your chest, and to the cow. Looking up, belly down. And let's do one more time of each, so let's do your cat. And then let's do the cow. And then come back to your table with a nice flat back. So let's put those feet out behind us in a nice strong plank. And we're going to drop down to the floor. Hold it just above if you can in your chaturanga pose. And then we push up into your up dog. or your cobra, however you like to call it. So your feet are flat on the floor, your knees are on the floor, and you're pushing the hips down and lifting the chest up. If it's too much on your lower back, just bend your elbows. But what we don't want is the ears and the shoulders, so push those away. Good stretch for your core and your hip flexors, this one. And let's put the toes on the floor and lift your bum up into the air, into our first downward dog. So we're in a nice triangle position. Legs are straight, your arms are straight and in line with your back, with your bum in the air at the highest point. And try and keep your back as flat as you can. And from here we're going to start to pedal our feet. So you're pushing one heel down into the floor at a time and bending the other knee. And every time you push the heel down, try and get it a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to the floor. This one's really good at mobilizing your ankles and also stretching your calves and stretching your hamstrings. And from here, let's walk those feet forward and then roll up nice and slow with a big inhale up and an exhale down. Lovely. All right, so we're going to get the body moving a little bit more. And we're going to do our sun salutation A. So we've done this one before, so you probably know. So let's do a nice big inhale up. And then I want you falling forward, keeping those legs nice and straight. Let those arms hang, let your head hang. If you can touch the floor, that's great. Otherwise, just hang at the point where you can. Feel the stretch in your hamstrings. And from here, we're going to go to halfway lift. So you're lifting your body back up, but not all the way, you're going to about halfway. So this is with a nice flat back, and this gives you an even deeper stretch in your hamstrings. So you've got to imagine your legs into your body are a right angle, and just let those arms hang. Good, flat back, halfway lift. And then drop it back down to the floor. Hang a little bit more. Relax in the upper body as you do. And now I want us to get our hands flat on the floor. If you need to bend your knees to get there, that's absolutely fine. And from here, you're either stepping back into plank or jumping. It's up to you, but just get back into your plank position. We've done all this bit before, so let's do it again. Dropping down to chaturanga, holding it just above the floor if you can. And then push up into your up dog. So this is our second up dog, so if you want to make it a little bit harder now, you just lift your legs up off the floor. So your points of contact are your feet and your hands. But if that's too much on your back, just keep them on the floor. Feel the stretch in your core. And let's pop those toes to the floor, lift the bum up into the air, into your downward dog, and let's go straight into that pedal. Getting those ankles moving, getting them nice and warm, and stretching those calves as we do. And let's walk those feet forward and roll up nice and slow. With a big inhale at the top and an exhale down. Lovely. Okay, so now that that body's nice and warm, we got it moving, we're going to go through our main routine today. So we're going to start with a nice big inhale, and then I want your hands together and I want you to bend your knees and sink down into our nice low squat. So I want those feet flat on the floor, elbows go into your knees, palms together if you can. If you can't quite do it and you need to have your arms out for balance, that's absolutely fine. And just hold it here. It's a really good stretch for your hips and for your lower back. And it's also meant to be very good for your digestion, apparently. Holding it here nice and steady. So if you want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. But if you do want to have a little go, you put your hands on the floor and tip yourself forward and lift your feet up into our crow position. Come back so you can see a bit better. So this is just about tipping forward, finding your balance on your hands. If it's too much, just come back down. If you want to have a little go, but you're not quite there yet, just practice rocking on your feet, lifting your toes up. Come back down for me if you did have a go. And I want those hands forward, onto your knees, and sitting up nice and tall. Lovely. So now we're going to do some nice back bends. So we're going to lean back, take your hand to touch the floor, and let your other arm reach back behind you. Get to the point where you can't go any further, bring it back and change sides. And do it one more time on each side. Last one. And back to the front. Lovely. I want those hands on the floor. I want your toes touching, but widen your knees. Sink back into your feet and slide your hands forward into your child's pose. So when you're doing this, you want those arms as long as you can, and you don't want your actual arms to be touching the floor, only your hands. And then try and get your chin or your forehead onto the floor. So it's a good stretch for your lower back. But having your knees wide is also opening up your chest. Opening up your hips. So now we're going to do some shoulder work. So I want us to come back in and put your knees together. And I want you to stick your bum up into the air. Slide your hands forward, keeping them straight, and take your chin to the floor. And I want you to try and reach forward with those arms. And if you think you got that and want to work a little bit harder, lift your hands up and go onto your fingertips. So no part of your arm is touching the floor right now. Really good shoulder work. Stretching your back as well. And relax it down. And come back up, bring those hands in to your table position. And let's pop the feet out into your plank. And we're going to go straight into downward dog. So you're going to push the bum up into the air. And let's give it a few pedals so we can get ourselves in that good position so we're feeling nice and comfy in that downward dog. And then choose which leg you're going to start with. I'm going to start with my right, and I'm going to lift it up high into the air. So it's as high as you feel comfortable. Hold it there for a few seconds. And then we're going to come forward into a plank, bringing that knee underneath your body so it's not touching the floor. Hold it here for a few seconds. And then push it back up into the air, nice and high. And then this time you're going to come forward and you're going to bring that foot in between your hands so it's underneath your body. So we're in a nice good lunge here. And without putting that back knee on the floor, we're going to lift up. And then when you're ready, when you've got your balance, lift those hands as well. So this is warrior one. Nice and strong. And then we're going to twist into warrior two. So the front foot is facing forward and the back foot is pointing to the side. Your arms are parallel with your legs and you're looking down that front hand, looking down your fingertips. And from here we're going to take the hand down. You can either go onto your knee or you can go to the floor. And I want you looking up at that top palm. And then if this is enough for you, just stay here. But if you do want to go a little bit further, wrap your hand underneath you. Drop the top hand and grasp it behind your back. So we're really strengthening up the legs and stretching those shoulders as well. And release. And let's come back up to your warrior. Flip the palm over and let's lean back. So we always need to keep it even. We did the forward bend and now we're doing the backward bend. And then come back to warrior two. And I want us to keep our feet where they are but straighten that front knee and relax your arms. So we've still got the front foot facing forward and the back foot is still pointing to the side. So we're getting a little twist in those hips. This is your triangle pose, okay? And from here, we're going to do prayer hands behind the back. So find your fingertips and push your palms together. And I want us to hinge forward, keeping your legs straight. Keeping that palm position. So we get a nice stretch in your hip flexors, not hip flexors, hamstrings, and opening up those shoulders as well. And back up. Nice. Arms back up for me, and let's bend that front knee back to our warrior two. And let's cartwheel the hands to the floor. Take the foot back into your plank. Lovely. So everything that we just did, we're going to do it again on the other side. So we're going to go back to downward dog, and let's pedal those feet, recentering ourselves, getting ready to work the other side. So whichever leg you used, you're using the other leg. So I use my right, so this time I'm using my left. So send your left right back up into the air, keeping the downward dog pose, just lifting it nice and high. And then we're going to come forward into plank, bringing that knee underneath your body, not putting it on the floor, holding it here. It's a good core strengthener, as well as the shoulders. And push it back up into the air, nice and high. And then let's bring the foot forward in between your hands. Good stretch this one, holding it here for a little bit. And then we're going to go straight into warrior one. So we're going to lift the body up, and when you're ready, lift the arms as well. And let's twist into warrior two, keeping your balance. That was not a good demonstration of balance. So remember, the front foot's facing forward, back foot is to the side, arms are parallel with your legs, and you're looking down those front fingertips. And let's drop the hand, either go onto your elbow on your knee or drop it to the floor. And I want you looking up at that top palm. So you're still elevating that chest, so you can get all the oxygen in. And again, if this is enough for you, then stay here, but otherwise you wrap the hand underneath, drop the top palm and grab hold of it. You might find that one side is better than the other. It's very normal. This is my good side, this one. Much easier. Strengthening the legs and opening up the chest. And release. And let's come back up to warrior two. Flip that front palm, leaning back. We did the front bend, now we have to do the back bend. And then back to warrior two. I said this was my good side. And let's straighten that front leg. So we've still got the feet pointing in the right direction. Front foot is facing forward, back foot is to the side. And let's do those nice prayer hands behind our back again. So push your fingertips together and then push your palms together so that they're nice and flat. And once you think you got there, or as close as you will, we're going to hinge forward. So getting a bit of an extension on this side. I'll get back in my prayer hands now. Back into your triangle pose. Release those arms up, bend the front knee, and let's cartwheel the hands down, foot back into your plank. And let's let's do lower it to the floor into your chaturanga. Hold it just above and push up into your up dog. Lovely. I just feel like that little routine gives you so much energy, which I suppose you don't really need this time of night. And let's have those toes down. Push the bum up into the air, downward dog, and let's pedal. And let's walk the feet forward, but let's not roll up just yet. Let's hold it here. Letting those arms hang, and I want you to wrap your arms around your legs and gently pull your head, your chest to your legs. Having a good stretch of those hamstrings and your lower back. And release. And let's roll up nice and slow. So we're going to have a go at doing some warrior 3. So warrior 3 is you're going to have one leg on the floor, you're lifting the back leg up, and arms are either side of your head, okay? So don't look at me when you do this one, just find a point on the wall that you know is not going to move so we can get into the position. So choose which foot you want to start on. Going into warrior 3, so lift your back leg, and as you lean forward, lift those arms up, and you're trying to hold them either side of your head. So you can imagine from your fingertips to your toes is nice and flat. Lost it. Or as flat as it can be. And come down and release. So we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Foot is down, we're lifting the back leg up, hinging forward, lifting those arms. And release, lovely. I can balance when I'm not talking. Right then, let's get ourselves back down to the floor. Big inhale up and rolling forward. Hands are flat on the floor. Either jump or step your feet back into plank and lower it down all the way to the floor. And let's do some nice shoulder openers. So I want those elbows bent in right angles out either side of your chest. You're going to leave the elbow where it is and just pick up one side of your body. You're twisting your leg over as well, lifting it up so you're really opening up your chest, and you're pushing the shoulder into the floor in a really good stretch across your chest and into your shoulder. And release it down, and we're doing exactly the same on the other side. So leave that elbow where it is, twist your leg over and lift up the opposite shoulder. If you need to adjust your body position to get a deeper stretch, then you definitely should. But you're really trying to push the shoulder into the floor. Feel the stretch in the muscles that connect your shoulder to your chest. They can get really, really tight when you sit a lot. So it's really good to open them up and stretch them. And lower that down. Lovely. Let's roll it onto our backs. So we're going to either do bridge or wheel. So bridge is when you just lift your glutes up off the floor, so you're getting a nice good stretch in your core, working the lower back. If you want to take it a little bit further, then we do full wheel. So your hands go either side of your head and you're pushing up. So choose which level you want to do, and we're going to lift either bridge or wheel in 3, 2, 1. And you're lifting up, pushing up through your shoulders, or just lifting your glutes, having a nice big stretch in that core. Hold it for a little bit longer and lower it down. Lovely. So we did that bend where we're bending our back and stretching our core, and now we want to do the other way where we bend our core and stretch our back. So to do that, you're going to lift your legs up into the air. Hold them nice and long. Point your toes if you can. Support your back with your hands, or lay them down on the floor. It's up to you. And now we're going to lower the knees either side of your head and let your toes come to the floor. And try and get your knees as close to the floor as well. So you should feel the stretching all the way down your spine. Stretching your neck, your shoulders as well, upper back. And lift them back up into the air, nice and straight. And lower them back down, lovely. And let's lie flat on our backs. Just take a few deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring one knee in and sending it across to the other side. And I want your arm outstretched and looking away from the knee, looking towards your fingertips. And you're pushing the knee to the floor and then the shoulder to the floor. So you get a big twist all across your core, all through your trunk. And then come back to the centre and do the same on the other side. So you're bringing the knee in, sending it across, arm outstretched. Adjust yourself if you need to, but you're pushing the knee to the floor and pushing the shoulder to the floor. So you're really feeling that twist, feeling that stretch throughout your body. Back to the centre. Laying flat on your back now, closing your eyes. Hands at your sides with your palms facing up. And I want you to relax every muscle in your body. So let's start at your feet. So feel the energy leave them and just relax them, and then work your way up your body. The energy is leaving your body. The muscle relaxes, releasing any tension that you're holding in your body. Breathing nice and deeply, and every time you exhale, you sink a little bit deeper into your mat. And then when you're ready, just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, bringing that life back into your body. And in your own time, come up to sitting